This week's episode, we discuss the cost of living crisis. We discuss how Paddy, the baddie, aka Paddy Pimblett, the UFC fighter, is looking to do more philanthropic things in the world. Much respect to him. And finally, we also discuss what was the last thing we discussed, Karen? Oh yeah, investing 101. All right, that's one. And then also Boris Johnson on the beach and body types. How they correlate, you'll find out. You'll find out in about 1 minute 30. Follow through. We'll see you there. Laters. What's up, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indian Doctor Podcast. Say hello to all of our friends and family for joining in. Thank you very much for listening. Garan, why are you clicking your head from left to right?
No, I always, but like The Simpsons, when The Simpsons start, they always do something new. I always try and think, what can I do at the start of the podcast that's different?
Tell you what, next time, why don't you take the intro? How about that?
Hey guys, it's Indy and Doctor, and we are here on the Indian Doctor Podcast, and we want to welcome you to this very special episode because I am just chatting shit.
There you go. Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. There you go.
Yeah, but hang on. That was very Dr. Jazz Mavi. What about your normal intro? Like,
no,
how was your normal intro?
That is my normal intro. That's how I do it. But I like listening to your intro. It's the thing now. So
it's the
voice.
Yeah,
you got the voice.
I haven't got the voice. You've got the voice.
If I was on the show, the voice, and you speaking like that, I'd tap the button and turn around.
Oh, thanks, man.
Like, who's this guy, man?
You wouldn't do that accidental one that
the half
who did it? Who did it? Wyclef. Wyclef, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think it was Wyclef or Will I Am. They were like dusting the button and they accidentally pressed it and then turned around. He was like, "Oh crap!" And he had to act all like, "Yeah, I meant it." To the poor person that he's obviously said yes to. You
can't reverse it, can you? You can't go back around and be like,
no, you can't. No.
Thumbs up and you just go the other way.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
I have a what's the word? Have to eat some humble pie today, Karen.
Ooh, okay. So we're sharing today. Let me guess. Let's play a bit of like 10 questions, 21 questions. All right. You have to eat humble pie, so something's happened. Right. Work, family, Sanj. Which one?
Neither. None of the three. It's to do with me and you.
Okay, humble pie, you and me. You must have accused me of something, but then you've looked into it and you were wrong?
No, I don't think I accused you of anything. It was an opinion I had about something.
And now and it's the wrong opinion. You've looked into it.
Well, apparently it's the wrong opinion. I still stand by it, but I'm being proven wrong. So
by facts or by what?
Would you like to know the answer?
No, I'm enjoying this game. Okay, which podcast was it on?
It's within the last 5 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last one. I know we did improv, but before
I know we did 5 hours in that time, and it was so strenuous for you.
Ukraine, Sunny, Nav, police brutality.
And there's one more.
Yeah, I know there's one more, but that's the only one I can remember. is it the other one?
I think it is, yeah.
Oh, okay. What was the 5th one then?
The Apprentice.
Right. And then on the humble pie, because Catherine's in the final, which I know you're very angry about. There's been like a public like outrage about they all got, and I don't know, but this year, maybe because COVID and everything happened last year.
Yeah.
The interview stage, they got ripped to a new level, man.
No. I don't agree.
You go back and you see some of Claude's, right? And you see like Ricky Martin. He said, "Ricky, this is the best business proposal I've ever seen." Like, I mean, obviously it's highly edited, but you didn't see much of it. It was just like, "You can leave now. You can leave now. What is this? You can leave now." I thought it was really good.
Can I offer a rebuttal? Right.
You may.
So in response to that, I thought that Claude wasn't as harsh as he normally is because the benchmark for me was when he was talking to that kid, Solomon. And he had a go at him.
You can leave.
He hyped him up so high, and then he just dropped him in the toilet and flushed about 10 times.
Yeah.
And he just died. He's like, he said 2 pages of bloody boats. Piss off. Right? And I was like, oh.
Which to be fair, that's all that Brittany had as well. He called it like an extended brochure, didn't he? So, but I think the degree to which he will get angry at a lady is slightly less than a man. I think
it is. I agree. So and I picked up on that. I was like, it's got to be fair across both, innit? But
Yeah,
there is
but
this theory.
generally across the four, like, you're not watching any of them thinking, my God, like this is really good. But I will say this whole big thing that they made about, again, it's highly edited, Harpreet and a sister and all this kind of stuff. You have seen it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, she said it twice now. My sister doesn't mind. It's not a problem. No, no, no. And they just kept bringing it up again and again
Yeah,
and again.
because what they have to do is go, and you can see it's like when you find a hole in someone's jeans, yeah. You're like, oh, that's a little hole. You put your finger in it and you just push and rub it really, 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 really,
Yeah,
really,
but
really
it's so
down.
soft
And then it
compared to
just
the rest.
expands, and you're like, oh, look, gaping hole. And I'm like, okay, it's
No,
because
but
you made one.
it's
But okay.
it's not gaping. Yeah, exactly. You made it. Whereas you look at the other ones, it's like, oh, you have no experience in this business, big hole. Oh, you're gonna go from like 10,000 to £1,000,000 in like 1 year. Yeah, mate. Anything's achievable, anything's possible. And the close like, no, it's not.
Yeah, but
Like,
I do think that
love
Catherine
it.
girl is just like, I'm like, no, I still don't fully believe in her. I'm like,
Pajamas.
to be honest,
Pajamas for
I'm
180
not the
quid.
biggest fan of either of them, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think of the two though, if you look at previous winners, there's one person, I think she's an Italian lady who won, who wanted to open chains a bit like Greg's. That was the kind of
Yeah.
thing. She wanted 100 Greg's.
Yeah.
So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, Heartbeats is a business that works, it makes money, da da da. It's just what he
Hers
prefers.
is more
isn't it?
scalable, quicker. Actually, no, that's not true. No, because through digital commerce and selling pajamas online, you can make that scalable quicker with, I would think, less overheads. But apparently,
Yeah, but
according to
that
Claude, of all the storage
like,
stuff,
well, exactly. He's like
might be
five
wrong.
five sizes, because you can't tell China. You can't tell China that you want it in.
I think it would be very fitting if Harpreet pulled in that kid. What's his name? The one she kept bullying every episode.
Oh, Hakeem.
Hakeem. Yeah, there you go. See, I said bullying and you got it straight away, right? Yeah, I think it'll be fitting
No,
if she puts him on her
when
team.
Hakeem was asked, he's like, "No, his eyes come out." He's like, "We work well. We really work well together. I think we're complementary with our style."
I don't know, man. He was
Yeah.
the poor guy was just getting rinsed. Again,
Anyway,
maybe
humble
that's
pie.
editing. But yeah,
What is
humble
the
pie
humble
is that, like
pie?
I said, that she would get eliminated and exposed. I thought she did get exposed, but she got away a few times, and now she's in the bloody final. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
but then you got to think about it. Of the four lesser two evils, who are you gonna pick? You're gonna pick Brittany or the other one? Brittany's got no
Brittany.
business. Yeah,
I
Brittany's
would
in
have
the final.
chosen Stephanie because it's more of a unique idea, but it's not as safe an investment.
50 garments, man.
But it's not as safe of an
50
investment.
garments. 50
Bro,
garments.
it doesn't matter about 50 garments.
for
There
me,
was that
it's just
geezer
not-
Tom who was horrible in all the tasks
Yeah.
and had a fucking
Tom,
chair.
Tom. Yeah. No, Tom. Something came out the other day about where they are now. He's number 2 all time money made. The top lady is somebody who's doing vegan skincare products.
Yeah,
2.2
I know
million
her,
made.
Susie Ma. I used to work at an agency that
Yeah.
I did her marketing for her basically on Google Ads.
You're giving it
Tropic Skincare.
You're giving
I'm
it
not
pump.
giving it 10.
You're giving
but
it pump.
like, I'm aware.
basically no.
And
Basically, guys, like
she's the only person who what did she do? She was the only person who ever got investment off Lord Sugar after the show.
no, is she?
Yeah,
I didn't
she's
know
the
that.
only one who's ever done
That's not
that.
when I
And
used to watch
then-
The Apprentice, so I didn't know. I didn't know. Who
And
she
then
was.
secondly, added to that, there was one day where she was on an interview, or Lord Sugar was on the interview of some sort, and he mentioned the skincare brand. And the next day we came to work, and there were like hundreds of thousands of sales that came in overnight. And we're like, what's
'Cause he
that
mentioned
about? And he just mentioned it on TV, and people just typed in on Google Lord Sugar skincare, and it just came up. So yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is, and just like guys, if you listen to this, Indy's basically saying that he did the marketing, created the boom. Indy
You know
is
what?
the genius.
I will
know.
honestly say, hand on heart, yeah.
Right.
That company could sell anything and it will do well because they have such a
Because-
loyal base. It
Mm.
doesn't matter what I put in my copy or what I put in any of my little
They
techniques
already
that
sold.
I do.
They sold.
Everything sells. So
Yeah.
I take no credit for that at all because I'm like, this is just going to sell regardless of what I do. Like,
So you're
it's
saying
unbelievable.
that brand, I'm not going to put it on the same level as that, but you know the way it's like I used to always have this thing with marketers. It's like, why does Coca-Cola even do marketing? You're going to buy Coke, hands down,
because
right?
you need reminders. We've
Exactly.
already spoken
Seeding.
about this in other episodes, but yeah,
exactly. Oh yeah, we spoke about it. Yeah, seeding.
yeah.
We need our listener base to be that loyal, man. So you know, you and I don't know what we're going to do, but when we do something,
When we do something, yeah.
When we do something, they are ready.
When we do something,
When we have a
that's
live
that is
show,
worthwhile.
when we have a live show and we want them to come out, they will come out.
Yeah. However, on
Oh.
a side note,
On
it's
a
good
side
to
note.
see two ethnic minorities in the final. That sounds super. What's the word? Virtuous of me to say, virtue signaling.
Gratuitous.
But fair play, man. It's good to see. The only thing I ask for is just stop having really shit guys in the show.
Yeah,
I
it
think for
just seems to
3
be this
seasons
common
in a
theme,
row,
isn't it?
a
Where the
single
guys
guy
just
hasn't
get
made it to the final, and it's
and the
just like,
quality
that's
of
a
the
bit
guys.
disappointing.
The only guy who I thought genuinely was all right was the guy who got fired on the I think he was a property contract guy. The fishing one when he had to get the fresh produce and he forgot to mention the catch of the day. I actually thought genuinely this guy's all right. He sounds well, he speaks well, he looks the part. And he got fired, and I was like, okay, that's it. There's no other guy. Like towards the end, the RAF guy and Hakeem, I was like, why are you even there? Actually, he did pretty well, man. I'm gonna say like towards the end, I was just like, he actually grew on me a bit.
He changed a lot.
He did change. He had he'd speak sometimes, he'd drop into his American accent, which I thought was just really funny.
Yeah, that was really funny, man. Respect to
Yeah,
him though. He did adapt.
No, he
with
did.
the
He did very
process.
well. He did do very well from where he came. But yeah, Tom Billy, man. So yeah, not Tom Billy. That's the that's
Wrong
the
Tom,
YouTuber.
mate. Plenty
Yeah,
of them
Tom.
out there, but wrong Tom.
That Tom though.
You know, Tom from MySpace, was it that one? Yeah.
Tom from MySpace. There was something about MySpace the other day as well. Anyway, how's your weekend?
All good, man. All good. We will jump into the topics because I have a few things to ask you. You don't know anything about today's episode.
If you didn't notice that, guys, in randomly sometimes Indy's voice will just break. I just love it. I love catching him when he does it.
I don't mind. I admit it. Yeah.
I know you don't mind. I love it. I wait for it. I'm like, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?
Thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
All right.
Yeah. So,
go.
Have you seen the clip of Boris running on the beach?
No, I'm just thinking about it. Is this a real clip?
Bro,
or is it a highly edited clip?
Bro.
It's a real clip. It's a real clip.
It's a real clip. Someone
look at it now.
Caught a video of him running on Blackpool. I could try and show you now. Hang on, let me find it.
You just have to share screen then, yeah.
No, I want to share screen. I want to see your live reaction. Give me a sec. Hang on.
Yeah, so share screen. And then even the viewers can see it as well.
No, I can't do share screen because I don't want everyone to see my desktop, man. It's a mess.
So you can just make it full screen.
No, I can't. Hang on. What is it? Boris. Where is it? Here we go. Here we go. Right, Karan, here you go. I'm going to send it to you in the chat. There you go. Open that. For those of you that want to find this on Twitter, just type in Boris Beach. It's the first clip that appears.
This is real, yeah?
This is real.
All right. He's trying. Who's he trying to kid? He actually took his photographer to shoot. God help us all, right? That's all. Let's make this bigger. Okay. So 2 million views. Wow, that's got a lot of views. Right?
2 million views.
So you got a PT in front. Oh my God, he looks really tubby, man. My God. I see him when he's in the House of Commons presenting.
You're not supposed to say that.
Why? He does. He looks like a polar bear. Like I don't know. Maybe it's the clothes he's wearing. Like when he's in his normal gear,
he wears those like baggy rugby tops. Do you remember how he went running in shoes that one time?
Yeah.
Looking like a full buffoon. Looking like a kid in flipping. Looking like a kid in school who left his trainers at home and had to still go and do PE in his shoes. Looking like that.
It's boggling.
Okay, that's that. Yeah. Now look at the picture I sent you.
On what?
I've put it in the chat.
Okay. All right. Below,
look in the chat. Open that and look at the picture I sent you. He's jumping through the air like
that doesn't look like him.
That's him. He's jumping through the air looking like a seagull.
Why does he look so skinny then?
So what's happened is everyone is saying he did this thing on the beach, took a photographer with him to have this photo up.
For what reason? What is this to
grow his image of looking like a friendly buffoon again?
Oh, I see.
But anyway, that's the theory. He's been getting ripped on Twitter about like the shape he's in and stuff. And it led me to sort of jump onto some questions to ask you as a doctor. You know that body type shit that people were taught in school?
No. What do we get taught in
school? You had like ectomorphs, endomorphs, mesomorphs?
Yeah, like this isn't something I learned in med school, man. But I know what you mean. Like, yeah, basic body shapes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what about them?
The whole concept of body shapes, it's all bollocks, isn't it? They still
Pretty
teach
much.
it in school, but it's all bullshit, innit? Let's just get it out there. Yeah.
PT's gone on about it as well, though. Like, I think they make it soft like pear shaped and peach shaped. There's many ladies that go on about these things. Though. You don't see many people going on
Yeah,
about this
but
stuff.
I understand. Okay, I understand people can get. I'm not disputing that the shape exists. What I'm
Right.
disputing is it's genetic, or that you're born that way and you're just in that way forever. And I'm
I
like,
think
I don't know.
no. I look. I think there are certain things. For example, certain people will just have broad shoulders. Fact. As in, the skeleton is just wide. I'm an example. I have broad shoulders, which means even before I got hench, I still look pretty good. No, I mean it's a different level now, but do you know what I mean? But
You fucking
to
wish,
it,
anyway.
it's okay. It's fine. I'm gonna let you have that one because you know about my shoulder gains and stuff. It's fine. Actually, you sent me a message, didn't you? Thick. So it's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, I said your body was looking
good,
thick,
isn't it?
man. Nothing else. Relax.
That's it, boy. You know yes. So to a degree, there are certain things which you're genetically born with. In the same way, you'll know in gym, we always say that there are certain people who do half the weights but get like double hench. It doesn't make sense.
No. It does make sense.
There is. No, it doesn't make sense, man.
It does make
so,
sense.
for example, there are two PTs. One, Jamie, and there's another PT there who's Afro-Caribbean. He can bench much less than Jamie, but his chest pectorals are massive. His arms are massive. So Jamie is stronger, but he looks more hench.
So some of that could be genetic, but some of that is still hard work. Like you aren't just
I'm not
born like that.
No, obviously I'm not saying that. I'm saying they both work hard. I'm just saying from a pure strength point of view, the correlation is obviously strength and henchness. They do go hand in hand.
So you're looking at it aesthetically.
Yeah. All that's. I'm not talking about strength. I'm saying, look, Jamie's still stronger than this guy, but he looks more hench. That's all I'm saying. So there is a certain degree, and the other, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, and the other thing is about some people have better, say, I say they're called a torso dominant. So they have a bigger like frame, but their arms are skinnier. I'm that type. My arms are not as big as everything else, and other people are the other way. So there is a degree. Genetics plays a role. You're right. Environment plays a role. What you eat, what you inject, that plays a role as well. So yeah, all these things. Anyway, what's your point? What's your question?
So the point is that when you're taught those three body types in school, it's all bullshit, isn't it? Because fair enough, you can have broad shoulders. I understand that. Yes. But this whole ectomorph, endomorph stuff, it basically says, well, I could try and find the three types for you if you like.
Are you saying that people then kind of they accept it and then they just don't try? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, I am this, therefore I do not try.
Yeah. So
right, here you go. Look, okay. So ectomorphs are long and lean people with little body fat and little muscle and a little muscle. Yeah.
So skinny, lanky
lots of body fat, lots of muscle, gain weight easily. And then mesomorphs are just athletic. So they're athletic, strong, and solid. They're not overweight or underweight. They're in the middle. They can eat what they want without worrying about it.
So you got lanky Larry, then you got the lean dude, and then you got like some fat dude, basically.
Yeah, but however, the fatty is strong.
Eddie Hall.
Right.
Big
we're talking. So in your example there, you got world's strongest man. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
But he's big. He's big.
Exactly. But having a big did does not equal strength, basically. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, I know people in the bin think like, big did means strong, in it, yeah, because you got a lot of energy to go.
Oh, look at my strong.
Yeah, look at my strong. Right? They think, you have a lot of what's the word?
Mass.
Josh? Is it Josh?
Mass.
Huh?
Josh is like energy. Mass.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Isn't mass meat?
It can be, but in this context, it's like it's a bada mass. Like they just do all this stuff, when they're doing like kabaddi. They're like, I kill you.
Yeah, those kabaddi players, they used to steroid hard as well.
Mate, but they're big boys, man. Like kabaddi is no joke, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Dangerous game.
So this whole thing about body type, can we just establish it's bullshit? Yeah, cool. All right.
So there was
they should stop teaching it in curriculums in school.
Well, I think it's dangerous from the point of view that people then don't try, and there's a similar notion within disease, right? We call it pass and sick role, which is sometimes although it's nice for somebody to know the diagnosis of their condition, sometimes the condition becomes the label. They become attached to the label. They don't want to get better. That's dangerous. So there are people who are just like, oh no, it's my IBS or whatever it might be. It could be any condition.
Every episode, you always get that one shot.
Yeah. See how I.
It's not even necessary. Like it's cool.
I love it, man. I love it. But there are any condition. Certain people, there are people who are are kind of up to date in their condition and they want to get better. And some people will just every symptom is going to be attributed to that. I'm not well because of this. And it's very hard to help those people because they don't want to get better.
Yeah, because they don't want to be helped. Yeah.
They don't want to get better. I'm not really sure what they want. Sometimes they just want to have tests. Yeah, sympathy is part of it. They want to be in hospital. They want to keep having tests. They want to.
Bro, who wants to go to hospital?
No, there are people,
man sitting in an uncomfortable bed. No.
No, there are people. There are people, man. They will say, "I'm not well." That's when you know they're okay. When they say, "I'm not well."
Why?
Because no one says it. If you are unwell, you're just unwell. You don't say anything. You're just out, right?
Yeah, but you can feel a little bit off and be like, "There's something wrong going on here."
No, I know. But there's a way these types of people say it. I'm really not well, and you're like, "Mate, your numbers are fine. You've had every test under the sun. You're fine. I am not well." There's a way they say it.
Anyway. So I'd like you to watch this TV show called "This Is Gonna Hurt."
Oh yeah, Adam K.
Yeah, I'd like you to watch it in that first episode because what you just said there, has been personified to be wrong. And as a doctor, it makes me a bit worried that you're thinking that, but it's okay. I understand the logic.
Explain what you're saying.
You need to watch the episode. I'm not going to ruin the episode for you. Watch the first episode, and you'll understand why thinking like if someone says they're not well.
Okay. You remember that's a show, yeah? You understand this? I see real patients. You understand that, yeah?
Yeah, but it's also based on a book that is also
it's based on making good TV. Yeah, it's making good TV though.
Because that bit happened in the book.
It might have happened in the book, but how do we know that's exactly what happened with the patient?
Because why would a doctor lie about it?
What I'm saying, I'm not saying lie. I'm just saying that there is this sort of happened, and this is a bit of masala. Okay.
Oh, you mean
when somebody is really unwell and you're an experienced doctor, you know they're unwell. When you're like your bullshit radar, we call it the end of bed test. You look at someone.
The end of bed test.
Yeah, it's actually a test. It's not like a Britain thing. It's just more a senior clinician will look at someone and be like, "You're okay." Like people come to me like, "Oh, I'm really, really worried about this patient." I look at them, they're fine. That's the level you get to. Or you look at someone, this patient is very sick. We need to do this, and this. Yeah, that's the level.
Yeah, but if you can't just diagnose a patient after looking at them.
I'm not talking about diagnosing here. I'm saying I can look at someone and be like, this person needs attention. You're fine. You get patients coming in all the time, man. Everyone presents like, as in today we had a really, really busy waiting room. And there were, somebody came up to me and they're like, "Oh, I've been waiting a long time and I've been vomiting this many times." I was like, "You're walking, you're talking to me, you're fine. Take a seat. It's busy." You know what I mean? The essence of triage is understanding who is really unwell and who is okay. That spectrum. I'm not saying, I look at them at the end of the bed and diagnose them. Yes, I'm absolutely not saying that,
mate.
Yeah, no, I mean that's if I had that power, that's a different game.
That's like God level, but yeah.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, going back to the point, I don't like how having this little three categories that people are supposed to fit into. It's silly. The only way to get around having this come into your brain type,
Why did this come into your brain? What is the reason you were looking at it?
I just made a correlation with what's the word with. No, I'm chatting shit. Basically, I spoke to Bao about it, and he said,
"Bao, your brother, yeah."
Yeah, he said you might want to consider that people talk about these three body types, and I said, "That's the thing," because obviously he's been getting teased about his weight, and naturally, when people get teased about their weight, they sometimes fall back on that thing of saying, "This is my body type," or
I see. It's like a defense.
So
was Bao tubby when he was younger?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. The only Bal I've known is like hench Bal. So
he was, yeah.
Okay, fine. So, and in Bal's experience, was he one of those people that used to be like, "This is my body, this is the way it is"?
No, he used to try like quite hard when he got to uni to lose weight and stuff and to be a different shaped person. But yeah, he was focused mainly on strength and stuff. He wasn't really too obsessed with weight
aesthetics.
Loss.
Yeah, but it happened anyway as a natural consequence.
Yeah.
And so, I can't imagine you ever been chubby.
No, I've been really skinny.
You've been like just lean, haven't you? Lean, Indy. Lindy.
I wouldn't say lean.
Lindy.
I just say skinny, mate. There was no lean. It was just like there was no strength there. It was just weak.
You know what Lindy is?
What's that?
Do you know? Do you actually know?
No, I actually have no idea.
Okay, so in Punjabi, it's like an unofficial word. It's a bit like pungi. Pungi is not a real word, but
what's pungi?
Pungi is like a nipple twist.
It's a what?
Pungi. Nipple twist. Pungi.
I'm flipping out. Okay.
These are like slang words, right? Urban Dictionary. A Lindy is a little streaky, long number 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So lean and Indy becomes Lindy.
That's horrible, to be fair, man. I
That is
mean, yeah,
horrible.
that's
But
not
it would be
nice.
just, yeah, no, it's not nice at all, but it's a funny word. That's your Punjabi word of
Disgusting.
today, guys. Do not use that with around your parents,
Lindy.
okay? Do not use that. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I used to be a little skinny shit, man, at school. I had no
Same,
strength
same,
qualities.
same.
Nothing.
Mm.
Only in the last like few years is something really started coming out of that. That's all. And even then, it's a very, very slow process. So
Yeah, it absolutely is. I was at gym today, post gym. I was in Aldi getting a few things. There was a guy I saw. I always see in the gym, right? This dude, and I always look at his physique. I'm like, my god, this guy's physique is amazing. Spoke to him. He's 23 years old. And I was like, man, how long have you been training? He's like, oh, I've been training since I'm 15. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why. And he's just telling me about, it's a process and all the things we know. But you're right, building a body, physique takes time.
when you say he looked good, did he have veins popping out his arm and everything?
No, not that. See, to me, that isn't good anymore. Like, he didn't look like I'm on the gear. It was just, here's a dude who's got like a nice, he looks nice in clothes.
He looks nice in clothes.
He just looks nice in clothes. Like, I see him doing, he's got nice shape, everything's in balance.
Nice shape.
Shape, man. I said to him, I was like, I look at you in the gym, man. I'm like, I want your body.
I'm in love
like,
with the shape of you. That's what you're singing to this guy in the gym, man.
Last night you were in my room.
Oh, mate, Jesus, I'm worried. I'm very worried. That's what patients sing about you, mate. Last night you were in my room.
Dr. Jazz was here.
Disgusting. Right. Okay. On a side note to that, what's a quick way to lose weight? Because everyone brags about the keto diet, the 5-2 diet, fucking all these diets.
Keto does work.
What works? The 5-2.
Keto. So I had a friend in lockdown 1 who worked with for 4 months. And I used to basically see what he ate every day. I was with him all the time.
How does it work, basically?
Okay, so keto is basically you eat high fat, good fats, and protein. You basically
explain good and bad fats.
So, for example, foods that are good fats are things like butter. Basically, think about this whole thing that came out about good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, processed, right? It's basically not eating processed stuff.
No, but there's 2 types of fats, aren't there? There's saturated and unsaturated, which is good, which is bad.
Saturated, fine. Unsaturated.
Saturated is good. Okay, fine.
Yeah, generally. And so what he would do is, okay, I mean, the approach that most PTs will have is a calorie deficit thing. So that I'm going to put that in like a separate box. This isn't, to him, it wasn't about calorie deficit. For him, it was eating lots of protein, lots of fat, no carbs, very little carb. Like, what would he say each day? Like 20 grams of carbs or something silly like that. And it worked. He lost a lot of weight, man. He looked good at the end. Now, he wasn't training.
Did he tell you how he was on death's door as well when he was doing keto?
Yes, the first month.
Yes, the first month. There you go.
First month.
Do not omit that key piece of information.
Yeah, he did say that. Obviously, I'd met him kind of when he'd already done that. That's why. But the first month he said you just feel so low on energy because think about it, carbs, your energy source. You're not having that. Your body has to break down other forms to release those carbs, release that sugar, which is kind of the idea. But yeah, he got to a weight that he was comfortable and he just maintained, and he did really well.
Would you ever want to try that?
To be honest, the calorie deficit thing, it works for me. So when I only do really, really slow cuts. Like I go from 75 to 70. That's normally the thing. I get up to 75, like a bulk up. Then I'm like, all right, I'm getting a bit tubby now. Stop. Don't get heavy at 75. Let's go back to 70. I do it slowly. The thing that's been made it easy for me is my breakfast and lunch is pretty consistent. Like those calories are accounted for, they're fixed. Got it down to T. So my only variable really is snacking, which to be honest, I don't have much. I've had my 1 protein yogurt in the day, and then dinner's a little bit variable. And if I get my 10,000 steps in, it makes everything a lot easier. That's what I've done.
If you're a doctor, I expect you to get 10,000 steps in minimum, man.
You mean because of my work?
Yeah, because you're on your feet all day.
Yeah, I am. But the problem is my current role, my other role, I used to make it easy. Now my current role, I don't actually move around a lot. I'm just in one room and I just keep walking up and down.
I see.
So I then have to do more formal walks when I come after work. It's fine. That's the 2 things I would say is know what you're eating. know what you put in your body. Just be sensible with your choices. Like literally, just look at the packet, man. What are you putting in your body? Generally, when I'm in deficit, I'm trying to eat about 1,800, 2,000 calories, something like that.
So
aim
when
for like
you're
700 per meal. That's kind of a
whenever people try and go on like a keto diet, just be careful, right? It's not suitable for everyone, especially if you're a diabetic. Explain why it's bad if you're diabetic, Aaron, and the ketone stuff. I know like a little bit about this, but I'd rather hear it from the expert himself.
So you're specifically talking about type 1 diabetics. Type 2 is not so much of a thing. So type 1 diabetics are prone to a condition called diabetic ketoacidosis, which is a medical emergency. So in the absence of insulin, the body will then start to break down other sources, which produces ketones. Ketones are acidotic. Acidosis makes you feel very, very unwell. Then becomes a medical emergency. So you have to be careful when you're doing certain diets, you're depleting yourself, and then you're still having your insulin, and you're getting things in doses wrong. Your body will just get confused. Obviously, for those people, the other risk is obviously going the other way, having low sugars, having hypoglycemia. So both things can happen. Obviously, you need to be careful. If they're a type 2 diabetic and they're just on tablets, it's less likely to happen.
So should diabetics never go low carb ever? Type 1s, they should never go low carb ever because is it harder to regulate your sugar?
No, they can. They can definitely go low carb, but it depends on the person. Like if some people are just on it with the diabetes, like okay, we do finger prick testing, but then now there are things called the Libre devices, which is what
Sanj has. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just forgot about that. Yeah, exactly.
Completely forgot that my wife's type 1 diabetic.
Completely forgot.
Cheers,
right.
Mate. Cheers. Yeah.
But when she listens to it, she'll back up everything I'm saying. But then, someone like Sanj is so on it and we'll just check and like, okay, carb count, how much do I need?
It sends you a push notification when you're high or low sugar.
I did not know that. So, well, there you go.
It makes life a lot easier for you compared to
real-time feedback. Yeah. And your fingers, they get desensitized.
Yeah, you start to lose feelings at the end of your finger.
So yes, no, the answer is not no, but I think it's a lot for somebody who's already not on top of their control, and then you say, well, don't have that, and if you're not adjusting your insulins and you're having low carb and your sugar goes low, of the two things, a low sugar is much more dangerous than a high sugar. High sugar will take longer for you to get unwell. A low sugar is like bang, coma.
Yeah,
low sugar is no messing about. I always say, if you think that I do a lot of drivers medicals, and so you got these people doing long distance driving in a lorry. It's like if you think your sugar is low, don't even take the time to check it. Just have something sugary.
Just eat now, innit?
Lucas said, man, bang, straight in jelly beans. So quick source of sugar. Then when you can stop and it's safe to do so, check your sugar. It's fine. If it's high, we can bring that down. We can correct it. If it's low, you haven't got time.
Yeah. Very fair point. Very fair point.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you for educating me a little bit more. I appreciate that, Karan. So to summarize, body types, bullshit. Calorie deficit, yes. Certain diets, up to you. Enjoy. Right.
Do what is sustainable. That is the key. Fall in love with the process. Same with the gym, man. Do what's sustainable. Don't go to the gym 6 times a week if you can't maintain it. If you can do it once a week, do it once a week. I say to my patients.
I see people eat some dry food, man, and I used to be one of them. Like really dry food.
Chicken, rice, broccoli.
No, plain chicken, like unseasoned chicken. And I'm like,
I'm clean. It's weird, isn't it? Eating clean, man. Clean.
No, but
clean.
you can still. There's this guy I follow on Instagram. What's his name? Stealth Health, which is basically called stealth eating.
That's a good idea.
It's called stealth eating, where you still have some guilty foods, but he tells you the amount of calories, the amount of proteins, etc. in it, and you can enjoy your food as you eat it. And I was like, he's onto something because he's giving people an outlet to still enjoy their food with all the calories and stuff you need for it. So you can still count and keep on top of it.
It's a fact. Obviously, I see Jamie a lot, man. I saw him on the weekend and he's in a deficit now. So guys, Jamie's my PT. He's losing weight for the last 5 weeks. We're on the weekend. He had a foot-long Subway, he has cookie. Like he eats whatever he wants to eat because he knows the number. It's all a numbers game. Who said this as well? Jay. Jay said this 5 years ago. I didn't believe him.
Said what?
We were at Nando's after our TBC practice.
Oh, he said the whole.
You can eat what you want.
What's it called?
Yeah, he said, if I want to eat pizza,
a whole tub of Ben and Jerry's,
or pizza. I think he said pizza at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, it doesn't matter. It's just calories, numbers, and I didn't believe him at the time.
Because back then, if you had a fitness tracker and you count how many calories you burn doing Bhangra, and then you think how much have I taken out, and how much have I expended, when it's come to exercising compared to how much I've eaten in the day, it flattens out straight away.
So
there you go. And it's quick, easy calories if you need to eat at the end of the night. So
I think this concept of I'm going to give up all the foods I want to eat. I'm going to clean. It's just clean word, isn't it? It's not sustainable. You do it for a week, you do it for 2 weeks, and whatever. Maybe you do it for a month. You're not happy, and then you crave, right? And then it's just, if you know you're going out to a restaurant, just make sensible choices, man. The key I found,
just eat less in the day, diet,
so eat foods that keep you full. That's the thing I've learned, man. Like now, one easy hack I've learned from Jamie is when we got to eat, it's like get whatever you're eating, get a side salad. It's always cheap and it fills you up. It works.
Side salad don't fill me up for shit, man. You can give me buckets of that.
Not on its own. So we'll have like a main meal and then we'll have like a side salad. Does the job. Whatever it be, even if it's not side salad, he's eat high volume, low calorie food. Yeah.
So basically, go vegetarian, you'll be fine. Or essentially, if you eat veg is a satiating food. Right, if you eat
that's the word. That's the correct word. Yeah,
it's a food in high satiety. Is that the word?
Makes you feel full. Yeah,
there you go. It makes you feel full when you eat veg. So
the game is about feeling
diet,
full.
It's fine.
If you don't, if you feel full, you're not going to eat. It's really that simple.
There you go. Anyway, next topic, Karan. So, you are aware of the cost of living price is going up next month?
What does the cost of living even? What does that encompass? That's a broad term.
Everything, all bills, everything, petrol, cost of living, food.
Energy. We know energy's going up. We know
the energy's going up. Petrol's going up. Food prices are going up.
Why is food prices going up again? Because of Russia?
No, because food prices have naturally been going up. They're crawling up year on year, slowly, and now it's just getting more and more expensive.
What we call the CPI,
basically. Also, post Brexit, food imports have been more expensive.
Cost price index.
Yes.
I just had this on. Well. I had this on Friday. I had a reminder for our broadband telephone BT. So had the email saying, "Oh yeah, your prices."
You've been getting loads of emails saying we're increasing our prices by this percentage.
Yeah, exactly. Which is the CPI.
This time of year, isn't it? I've had loads of those as well.
You expect it, and gave a call and said, "What are you going to do? Been with you this many years." Da 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 da. So basically, we got to the point where we're cost neutral. I was like, that's fine. Cost neutral is winning for me now.
Yeah,
done. 2 years done, fixed in, no issue. A little bit more speed. What I'm really waiting for is fiber to prem. That's going to be the game changer for BT land. Are you Virgin or BT? You're Virgin.
Virgin.
Yeah, the Virgin's obviously got the tech and they've had it for a while with your speeds up to 1 gig. Exactly. So Virgin don't do it in our area, but BT will be offering similar thing, fiber to the prem soon.
Anyway, yeah, cost of living.
The cost of living is going up. Right.
Are you not concerned about it at all?
It's a relative concept, man. Is it going to affect the way I live?
Pretty much, yeah. Your bills are going to go up.
It doesn't affect the way I live. Doesn't change it. It doesn't stop me doing anything I want to do now.
What do you mean?
So, okay, let me rephrase it. So,
as in
the cost of living has gone up,
right?
Yeah, it's not like it's not a big enough jump for me to be like, okay, I have to cut something out because of that. I will be more mindful about, do we need to do as much long distance driving? That I'll be mindful of. Food, it's pretty much like we don't. Frugality, man. It comes back to frugality. If you're frugal anyway, these little blips don't really change anything. If anything, if in the bill, from the bill's perspective, it makes me look at, do we need all the services we need? It makes me review these
I'm not on about that, bro. I'm on about basic bills, electricity, gas, heating.
Okay, you're not about the Sky TV. Okay. Yeah,
Sky TV is a part of it, but I'm saying basic level
more like you have to have things.
That's increasing by I'm talking essential cost of living here. Luxury stuff we'll cover in a second, yeah? But essential cost of living stuff is basic bills like phone, broadband, broadband, water, electricity, gas. Yep. Those are the 5 that I would say people need to somewhat live or be able to work
5
from home. Yeah, cool.
Correct.
Those are all going up dramatically. Maybe not broadband and phone, fine, but the others
by the same degree. But the others like they're seeing 50% on there at least.
Yeah, 50% minimum. Minimum. That's what I'm kind of getting at here. It's I'm worried because it's scary. It's scary how much it's going up, and it's gone up by so much now. It's expected to go up again in October.
So let me ask you a question. So when we say they have said that. So say it goes up by 50%. Give me an idea.
It's meant to go up by about 50% now, but in next.
So
month.
your monthly, I presume do you pay monthly or do you pay like quarterly or yearly?
Monthly for
Monthly,
some,
right?
quarterly for others, yearly for
All right. So
others. Depends.
let's take one that you pay monthly, right? The amount doesn't matter. By how much more per month do you think it's going to increase by?
Be up to about 50%.
Okay.
That's what's expected at the moment. Everyone's estimating it, but that's how much on average households are going to be affected by it. Let's say about 50% a hike, about a 50% hike. So me and Sandra are okay because we're in like a small flat. So it's cool. Our amount of bills and stuff that we expend in that level isn't
Yeah.
as large as say somebody who's living in a house with kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's much higher. And that's a lot more going out of your pocket each month in just essentials.
Hmm.
So the real concern is how it's driving like a lot of people in the middle class and people on the poverty line just further into poverty, and pushing them towards the edge.
They have said this thing about what are they talking about? Passing a bill to subsidize these costs and how much of
The only bill that's been passed is a £200 loan.
yeah, which is nothing. I mean, that's peanuts.
And they said you pay it back over 5 years. That's lit, and that comes into effect in October. That's all that's been proposed at the moment, nothing else. And that what the month ends in a week and a bit. It's scary, really scary. And also, you saw with fuel how fuel just shot up over like the course of a week. I swear, a lot of these petrol companies just make it up as they're going along. Because have you seen how some of them are approaching like 194? Others are like £1.60. It's just, yeah, I bought it at this much, so I'm just going to bump you even more. And it's like, oh, damn, this is just random. There's no consistency among pricing anywhere.
Supply and demand. Like I said, these variables, there's nothing you can. Okay, maybe I guess if you're electric car,
the only thing that you can do is maybe sell. If you have two cars, you sell one and just use one. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, reduce it. You can think about public transport.
Try and do public transport, but even in Birmingham, the public transport links they're not great. They're okay, but they're not fantastic.
Really? Birmingham?
So yeah, I mean, if you take the bus from my parents' house to Birmingham town, it will take you an hour and a bit.
Yeah, I think it's doable. You're saying it's not fast.
Yeah, it's doable, but I'm saying it's very, very slow, efficient, tedious. And even trains running to like that side of Birmingham, North Birmingham, is like every about 15 minutes to 30 minutes. They're not very frequent. I'm not saying it has to increase in frequency, but I'm saying if you're outside of London and you have a car, you're going to feel this more than say those in London that don't have a car, because they can make ends meet in different ways. You can get a bus and it can take you quite far. But if you're in a car and your cost of petrol now, I think mine went up to like £85 for a full tank, and I was like,
and used to be what?
Used to be 60.
Whoa, that's quite a lot. £25.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, that's
big jump.
My car's quite efficient when it comes to petrol.
And how many? So in a month, will you fill it once, twice?
So at the moment, because I'm only going back and forth to Burns, I'll fill it up maybe once, sometimes twice, depending on if you do a lot of travel.
But max twice.
Yeah, so I can take it, and yeah, I'm like, okay.
I aim for that. The peak kind of lockdown, I was doing one a month. I was like, this is amazing. And now, yeah, it's kind of back to kind of normal, I'd say, which is like twice a month. But sometimes you can hit 3 and just like, man, I need to stop driving, man. Plus, I got a lease car.
And you got a lease car, so you got like a mileage.
Yeah, I'm always looking at mileage. I'm like, I'm actually doing really well this year. I was really impressed. But basically because I increased my mileage.
Yeah,
I worked out now because I've had a lease for so long. I'm like, you're not going to do 10,000 a year, man. There's no way you're doing 10,000 a year. Sounds like a lot. It's never a lot. But yeah, I think, when you were talking there, it made me actually think about people. Imagine people who live in rural areas where.
Yes, exactly. Right? Those are the people that I feel most sorry for, or even pensioners.
Yeah.
Even those who have gone through a full retirement and they're saying, hang on, I haven't got any money. And it's
all been expended.
Pensioners don't have money energy bills. They don't have money for this massive price hike. They're like, shit, what do I do? And I'm like,
well, the little income they have, it's supposed to be surplus, isn't it? For like you said,
it's supposed to be surplus for X amount of years, and now it's eating into that. And you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, what quality of life are you gonna have if all your money is spent on basic needs, right?
I would never want the choice of eating or heating
Wow, eating or
I would
heating.
never want that choice, man. And this is where some pensioners may potentially get to. And when you're older, you get colder easier, as I saw with my nanny and stuff. And it's just
Mm.
like, what do you do, man? And obviously the weather's getting more and more extreme.
Mm.
Winters are getting colder, summers are getting warmer. So the polar opposites is just making it more and more difficult to live through in the colder months.
Mm.
So it's like, fuck. It's really worrying how there's no way around sort of fixing things now. It used to be you can price cut things if you live in a house of like a family of four, etc., and you're the main breadwinner. You can cut out a few things, but now it's like you're choosing: do I have this necessity or this necessity?
Yeah,
There's a guy
like you
who
said.
runs a money saving website.
Yeah.
What's his name? Martin Lewis.
Oh, he's always like posting tips, isn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
he
Go on.
he was quoted on the weekend as saying, "I am out of tools to help people now. This needs
I
government
am.
intervention."
Well, okay. If
He
he's saying
said he
that,
said there's no more tools I can give people. This needs government intervention. This is the worst crisis.
crisis. Mm.
It's worse than COVID. It's worse than any financial crash. He said this is the worst crisis ever. People are going to be pushed into fuel poverty. They're going to be pushed into energy poverty, basically.
What a term, energy poverty. Mm. So
That's why
what
it
are the
scares me. That's
what
why
are
I'm
the what
like,
are the
ugh,
mutterings? What are the mutterings about what the government could do? What are the options here?
nothing. There's no mutterings at the moment, mate. It's just all the chancellor said is,
Mm.
I'll help you out if things if you need me to. Please look at my track record. I've helped you out in the past. I'm like, that's cool, but the price hike comes into effect next month, and you've given people nothing. If you compare it to other countries across the world that have had a price hike,
Mm.
let's say if you take France into the equation,
Yeah.
they state own EDF, and what they said to EDF is you're going to take a 7.9 billion hit, and they've capped the price increase at 4%. If they didn't, the price increase seen could have gone up to 50%.
50.
50,
And they've
50%.
capped it at
So
4.
they capped it at 4%. So they
Oh, wow,
caught it early, which
that's
is
really good.
big.
Yeah, yeah.
So doing that is obviously helping their people, because French people don't fuck around. When they riot, man.
Yeah.
Right. They really riot.
Proper.
So
Yeah.
they don't want that state that they don't want that level of rebellion, let's say. So
So it's
yeah,
a
I
big
think it's
difference, about
possible.
4%,
I think
50%.
I think the government could have done more if they wanted to. It makes me question why they didn't do anything more. Is it because they don't have the upper hand because of Brexit now, and they can't be more stern with other companies? I don't know
Mm.
why more hasn't been done to help the people,
Mm.
or just help anybody really. Yeah, the food bank stuff as well. Food banks are already over, what is it? Not
Subscribed?
oversaturated. They're already
Subscribed?
running low, so they're just going to run even lower now. Yeah, all these things really hit me in the heart, man.
Say, man, you
And
seem really ducky, man.
I am, man, because I sit and think about it, and I'm like, yo, me and you are okay. We can get through it. It's like
Mm.
it's more money out of our savings, which is okay. But if you're living on the breadline month to month, which I'm sure newborn newborn, I'm sure that new parents are,
Mm.
especially if they've got two or three kids,
Mm.
that's tough, man.
Again, it's about, like you said, sustainability, isn't it? How long can you survive like that? And what quality of life you're going to have for those yourselves, those around you. I think of the different demographics you talked about, the OAPs, they're the ones you think about. When you talk about it, I actually think about our old neighbor who we used to live next to, who
Yeah.
we still go and see sometimes, and proper, like, in his 90s now. He's never left England in his
Wow.
life, uh, and just, yeah, has to think about what he spends on um, heating or
That's
eating.
what that's the thing,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Like
Because now I've got an
when
image.
you know
Once you have an
someone,
image of someone, exactly, it
when you
becomes
have an
very
image
real.
of someone, it becomes real, doesn't it? That's
Just like we used to say
that's
about
the
COVID,
horrible
isn't it?
thing about it.
Yeah, yeah. Then you think about, oh, okay.
Then you think like shit, it could be really, really serious. The financial impacts of it all. I had a bit of a theory.
Go
Correct
on.
me if I'm wrong, yeah. So listen to this. Okay, the cost of running a house goes up. Yeah.
Yes.
Which means people either need to downsize or go bankrupt.
Yes.
Those are the two choices you're facing, right?
Because your income's not going to go up, is it? Let's face
So
that.
you're probably gonna have to downsize. Okay.
Yeah.
So if people downsize on like a mass scale, does that mean is there a boom slash fire sale on houses going as people look to move in with other family or elders?
Potentially, but who's going to buy those houses? You mean investors?
Maybe investors, but does that
Okay.
mean that the housing bubble bursts? I know this is really worst case scenario, but I don't know if my theory
Sorry,
is correct because I don't know enough about
when you
property.
say the house, why would it burst? Sorry, because too many people are selling.
Because there's too many people selling, which means you're
And not enough buying.
oversaturating the market, and then
Yeah,
therefore
not
it's
enough
just
buying.
I'm using the normal rules of supply and demand, right?
Yeah,
And like,
yeah,
if there's
yeah.
more supply than that's in demand, then it's gonna people might reach a place in negative equity. I don't know, but is that plausible?
If the value, okay, yes, again, this now depends on if you've got somebody who owns a house 100%, then obviously you can't fall in negative equity as such. Obviously, the people who are in mortgages, who if there is so much mass selling that the value of all properties has gone down, that actually yes, the
Yeah,
sale of the property still doesn't cover your mortgage, and
yeah.
then you can yes, that potentially could happen, but you're talking like mass. But then for the ability for mass selling to happen, there has to be mass buying. Someone's going to be buying all those properties.
Or not necessarily. If you're moving in with other family members, you don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to do that, do you?
What do you mean? Then put it on rent? Is that what you mean? No.
No,
Or just
if
don't
you
do anything.
no, so if you move out and just move in with a family member,
Yeah.
you're not buying another property, are you? You're just moving.
No. But what's happening to that current house that you're not living anymore? You're selling it.
You have to sell it, yeah.
Yes, I'm saying, but to sell it, someone has to buy it, doesn't it? So if there's mass selling, there has to be mass buying. Otherwise, you're not selling, are you? Someone has to buy
Well,
those
no,
properties.
because then you're thinking of it as an abacus, right? But the abacus doesn't match because the abacus is whenever somebody sells a house, they're buying a house to cover themselves. That's the logical way of doing it. But if in this case it's all everyone's selling and no one's buying, you've got 10 on the abacus of sell and you've got none on the abacus of buying to obviously keep up with it. Can you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. But in your example there, how can you sell 10 houses if nobody buys those 10 houses? A sale has to be someone buying. It's not a sale otherwise.
Oh, sorry. I mean just putting them up for sale.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah. They might. Yeah. Okay.
That's my mistake. I was supposed to say putting it
Yes.
up for sale. Okay.
Yes. The number being put. Yeah. Exactly. Imagine you go down a road and all the
And
planks
they're
are up
all
for
on
sale.
sale.
Yeah. But then that drives
Right.
the price down, which is a problem.
Yeah,
There's
which is
so
what I was
much.
saying. Sorry, I wasn't being clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get at. So that could potentially burst the housing bubble.
What do you understand by the housing bubble?
I don't know because
You keep using this term. You're watching the Big Show.
I keep on thinking about everything that happened in 2008 with subprime mortgages, etc., and how it's still going on today.
Yeah,
under
but
a different name.
well, okay, maybe, but in what you're saying now, that's not the same. That was the problem. There was over lending. It's like, oh, you want £100,000? All right, I'll give you £500,000. That's a different problem. People who just cannot maintain their mortgage payments. But it's still, for a different reason, it could still be a problem. It could absolutely be a problem. From a reset point of view, though, I think the world has become. Let me take another analogy. In the way that Punjabi weddings have just become so stupidly big, or had
It
become
needs
so
a
stupidly
reset.
big.
Maybe COVID.
The reset,
was
right?
reset factor.
COVID was a reset. We went back.
I don't think it is. I reckon.
I don't know. I think
so long. They're
now they
gonna
want
push back
rebound
in that direction.
Yeah,
even
rebound even harder. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. But I think some people have woken up to it. Like my sister's wedding was just incredible, man. It's really small, intimate. Loved it. Wouldn't change it for the world. I think when I have kids, that's going to be the mindset. Again, if they only grow up seeing what they believe to be normal, they're not going to be like, oh, I want like 1,000 people at the wedding.
Yeah.
Right. In the same way, if people were to go back to sort of simpler living in more nuclear families, living with parents and that kind of thing, I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, the circumstance, the catalyst here isn't a good catalyst, definitely. But yeah, that in itself might not be a bad thing. Getting away from materialistic living. And see, when I make this point here, I'm really only talking about those people who are kind of middle class, where it's reducing the amount of luxury.
Yeah.
Kind of, I'm not talking about the people who are already on that kind of line. Then actually, they're already, they're already at the most basic level. But for these middle class people, it might be a chance to just like, okay, do we need this, 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 and this? Do we really need this, this, and this? What must I have? What do I? What is it nice to have? What's nice to have versus what must I have?
I hope so. I hope it's that easy for them as well.
I don't know that one.
Oh, I don't know why my Alexa just
Alexa
went off casually.
She doesn't know that one. I mean, you must
doesn't know that one, mate.
She just doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it levels everything out nicely, but time will tell. The only other thing on the back of that is if people have less disposable income and they're putting it towards bills, etc., does that mean the economy could potentially get hit as well because people have less money to spend on luxuries?
Luxuries. So you're talking about restaurants, holidays. Holidays are going to be the big one, isn't it?
Clothing, fashion, furniture,
airlines. We just had this massive thing about bloody. Obviously, no one's traveling because of COVID. Now they want that to boom. If nobody's got any money, it's going to be back to staycations again.
Yeah.
Or not even that.
I don't think this has been thought through to the best level. Yeah. It's very interesting to think further down the line the impacts it could potentially have. You can obviously sit here and play God and try and figure things out and draw up this mass danger scenario that may never happen.
Mass danger
scenario, but it's unrealistic, isn't it? When you try and sit and think about it and try and fathom it and put it into words.
It is what it is. There's a certain degree of critical thinking which I think is important about, okay, what are my contingencies here? What can we cut? What are we going to do? Fine. If you do that to an extreme, though, you will go crazy. You will.
Yeah. I know that. Look at Alex Jones. He went crazy.
Good example. The thing I had in my head was I remember doing a Facebook Live during COVID-1, maybe 2 weeks after lockdown, and it was to help people who were just scared, basically. And there were people who just thought if they were sitting in the house, that COVID was just going to come under the door and get them. Like they were just so scared. Man. But these are the people who are just like watching it 24/7 and were just like proper, conspiracy theory, like times 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Think about it, do practical things, and that's it. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, that's what you can do. What is sad is that, all these things go up. And even if we come back to kind of the broadband, the CPI, all these things go up every year. And it's like, well, our pay doesn't go up like that. Like, that's the most like static thing in the world.
One thing hence why this whole thing is being made such a big deal of, because no one expected this energy hike to come. And as a result of it, your income's going to be squeezed for a few months. And then you have to hope you get a pay rise at the end of the year if you're in like a middle class job or a lower class job, right? You're sitting there hoping that you get a pay rise to balance it out that goes up with the new level of inflation. What inflation is now? 7% or something?
Bloody hell, 7%.
Man, you really ain't been paying attention to this cost of living stuff, have you? It's wild.
No, not particularly.
Yeah. So
frugal, mate. Frugal.
Frugality won't save you, mate. Frugality will not save you when it comes to something like this.
I beg to differ. It depends where your starting point is. If you're at a point where actually you're so minimalistic anyway, and as in the difference between what you need to live on and your income is there's a big enough.
Let's go back to the Adam and Eve days, man. Let's just walk around naked. That's full frugality. Let's go.
Oh, here we go. Bartering.
There we go.
Just bartering.
That's it, man. That's all you need to do. Bartering. What is money? Money is a social construct, right? It's not real.
Absolutely. Look, there are plenty of people who live off the grid, who do their own thing.
There we go.
Not strangled by these kind of constructs. And those are the people you look at now and they'll be like, yeah, we're chilling, man.
I am gonna probably start donating to a food bank from now on, because I do think it's important, man. One thing about donating to food banks as well, I think I was listening to someone come on the radio and talk about this, saying if you could just spare something that has a little bit more flavor, like more branded things that really make someone's week. So even if you were to give them like a plain packet of crisps from Asda or like a Walker's packet of crisps, the Walker's makes all the difference because it just has more taste and substance to it.
Yeah, it's just like
or is the word sustenance? I think it's sustenance. Okay. Yeah, it just tastes better and it just brings them like a momentary joy. And I'm like, shit, man. Imagine being worn down to that point where like your highlight of the day is having like flavored food,
You have been on a
I've been on a tear, mate. Been on a tear.
You've been on a downer today, man. Yeah.
I'm on a tear.
Well, guys, this is the state of Indy.
This is the Indian Doctor Podcast. Thank you for joining. No, I got one
Yeah,
more
and
topic.
if we don't come next week, we understand why.
Cost of living got me. Right, there's an MMA fighter who fought on the weekend, a Liverpool lad. His name's Paddy Pimblett. It's called Paddy the Baddy. Have you heard about it?
Nope, Paddy the Baddy.
So people were thinking he's going to be the next Conor McGregor.
Wow, that's quite a.
I hope he will
to
be.
live up to.
He's got the charisma and the personality for it.
Swagger. Okay.
Swagger. I've only seen him fight once, so I can't comment on his style. But he did submit someone. So I was like, you're very different.
Was he fighting in like actual UFC on the weekend? Or
he
just
fought in UFC London, the main card for this weekend.
Okay, so it's proper. Okay.
Yeah, so he was.
What division is he?
The third fight before the main event. He's in lightweight.
Lightweight.
Yeah.
Okay, and he got someone to tap out. That was
he tapped him out in the first round.
First round. Okay.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive. So what he said at the end was he said he wants to use his platform as a fighter to sort of take people in Liverpool out of poverty and hunger.
Right.
So respect to him for if he can do that. Hopefully he does get paid like shitloads and he can make that a reality, because that's his hope. He wants to set up a charity and focus on that. His whole angle is he said, look, everyone that sees a fighter, they see like big tattoo guy, massive muscles, etc., and they think that's a fighter. He said, they look at me, I got long hair, I'm just a plain lad who lives next door and I'm making it in here, so they probably resonate with me more. And I was like, that's a pretty good USB to have, being more relatable.
Whole kind of exactly relatability, local lad, he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
The whole giving back.
Yeah.
The credit to him, man. Like if you have a lot, be able to give back in a meaningful way and inspire a generation, that's only a good thing. And I think what I take away from people that I've looked at like that, there are points where I look at certain boxers, it's like, okay, I know I'm never going to be a boxer, but there's certain things I take away from it, and it just makes, I think if you're a certain phase in your life, this gets a little bit easier because I can look at this, I can relate to this little part, and that actually gets me through. And that's enough of a ripple effect, like personally speaking, that I've had from certain people, that I can only imagine for other people. It's not thinking I'm going to be Conor McGregor. It's okay, I don't have to do this because I can do this. Well, this made me have this choice instead. That's enough. No, good on him, man. It's really good.
Respect to him, man. I really hope that I hope that more athletes choose to go down this route of giving back. So being more philanthropic. Is that the word?
That is the word, yeah.
Yeah. So I really hope that they go in this direction and use their platform for a good reason. But as long as they're aware that if their performances drop, people will get onto them quickly, and they can't use that as a shield to protect themselves. You should be able to separate the athlete from the cause.
Yep.
You see what I mean? That's important. I've seen it happen to Marcus Rashford now because he's not performing well for Man United.
Oh, and the lunch stuff.
Yeah, and fans are on his case, but everyone's like, well, he did this for the kids. I said, yeah, that's great. But his day-to-day profession that people judge him on, his performances aren't there. It doesn't give you a get out of jail free card, basically.
No, it doesn't. But obviously there's one thing. The one thing is like a humanitarian level. The other thing is, yes, it's his job. Obviously he needs to perform.
Yeah.
Whether, he stays where he steps away, he could leave the game at some point and just do that full time. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it detracts from that, but you're right. You shouldn't be able to hide behind it. But I think for a lot of sportsmen, as well, and sportswomen, it's historically a lot of them go broke, don't they? And they just lose all their money. So they need to.
They used to. I don't know if they still do, but
no. There's been so much about it. Like you look at reading about Canelo Alvarez.
There's also a lot more money in sport now compared to how much there used to be.
Yep, a lot more money. People have switched on about having advisors. They invest. People like Shaq owns, I think, multiple hundreds of.
I wouldn't say Shaq's a good example. I'd say look at someone who's got into sports in the last 10, 15 years.
Okay, so more recently, Canelo Alvarez, current boxer. Canelo Alvarez, the best boxer on the planet now, pound for pound king in my eyes, has regular earnings of close to $1 million a month from his investments. Just invested really, really well. I think it's just a much more commonly held thing. I'm not going to be able to do this forever. This is my period to perform in. Make a shitload of money, invest it well, live off it. Mayweather's another good example. I mean, he's a bit.
No, he's a bad example, Karan. You cannot
Why?
call him a good example.
He's got a lot of money, man.
Mate, this fucker comes back to fight because he's broke. You understand that, right? Every time he comes back to fight, it's because
No,
he's broke.
no,
It's not
I
for
see.
legacy.
But
It's because
where
he
are you
needs the
hearing
money.
that? I know. I don't think it's legacy either. I don't. I don't. I think it does nothing for his legacy. These kind of
No. I
exhibition
don't think it
fights.
is for legacy. I think he comes back for the payday. He doesn't come
No,
back for
I don't think
any
it's
other
that
reason.
either. I don't think it's that either. I think with all the strip clubs and all the investments he has, he's got more than enough money. I think genuinely he just likes fighting. Like he's just so good.
He hasn't got the money. What are you basing this off?
What are you basing your thing on?
I'm basing it off the fact that he didn't pay Logan Paul for his last fight. He's withheld the payment and he's tried to get out of it
Do you think
because
it's
he
based
can't
on
afford
money?
to pay him.
I'll look into it, but my perception of Mayweather is not that he's broke. Well, I will. I'll come back to you on the next podcast.
Have a look, and tell
I'll
me
come
your
back to it,
thoughts
yeah.
because
And then you'll
it's
be
been
humbled
shown
again.
that he's really, really bad with money.
Okay, fine. Not him then, but Canelo Alvarez, good example.
Yeah.
But boxers, yeah, his boxers historically, they're the ones that tend to go broke. Mike Tyson was another one, but now he seems to have just smashed it. And he's got all these weed farms and he's making $500,000 a month or something. He's just smashing it.
He's
flying his
life.
pigeons.
I'll give that for sure. And he's got his own little podcast stuff going as well.
Oh,
And I'm sure he's got his own type of weed as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, probably branded weed. There was a phase where they all went through drinks as well. They all had like vodkas, and I think 50 Cent had
why.
one. P Diddy had one.
Did they? Did he?
I think 50 Cent definitely had one. He had it in Power. He used to show it in Power. P Diddy and I think Mark Wahlberg own a water brand together as well. Aqua, I think it's called. They're all just heavily invested in things now. And then you got the actors. The actors all investing in startups. Who's Ashton Kutcher? I think is 15% stake in Uber. I think that's one of the most famous ones that gets talked about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
First round investments of all those big tech companies.
Yeah. All these kind of IPO.
Oh, by the way, here's a question for you. If you could say 3 words to yourself from 10 years ago. Sorry, no, that's the wrong way of saying it. If you could say 3 words to yourself, to your younger self from 10 years ago, what would it be?
Start investing now.
Yeah, mine would be buy Tesla stock. But yeah, okay.
Right. So same theory. Yeah,
buy Tesla stock and just hindsight. Hold. That's it.
Yeah, hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it? But the thing now is we need to look at stuff which is now what Tesla will be, the Tesla equivalent in the future. I remember looking at Netflix, man. I was in 2008, and I just signed up to Netflix. 2008, yeah, I was just starting med school. And everyone was like, oh, Netflix is shit. They haven't got any content.
Yeah, but no one thought it was going to be the behemoth it is now. It was a slow, incremental gain.
Exactly. But again, if you bought in Netflix, then I thought, okay, here's the potential for this could have all the content in the world at some point. But we can say this about anything, man.
I think you invest in stuff for potential, don't you? Like you hope it's going to give you this thing that its ultimate aim is geared towards.
Yeah. Broadly speaking, there's 2 ways of investing, isn't it? You either invest in funds, okay, which diversify and mean
indexes. Yeah.
They're going to go up. Which is, look, if you don't know anything about investing, just invest in a fund. It's that simple. Regular amounts into it, it will go up.
Invest in the FTSE 100 and just sit on it. That's it.
Just don't do it. That's really very simple, right? Or the S&P 500, whatever you want. Then if you want to invest in individual companies, that's where it's a bit more like, okay, do you know what's going to happen? And that's when if you really, really want to put time into it, the whole Warren Buffett kind of what he does, he invests in things he understands. A lot of his stuff's in Apple, a lot of his stuff's in Coca-Cola, brands he understands, which will always be there forever.
I wonder if he's actually doing well today, or if he's not, or if the world has changed too much for him, or if he understands anything now.
No, he's pretty clever.
I'd love to know how his portfolio looks and see if he's like actually still thought of as one of the leading investors, or if people just think like he's a bit outdated now.
Either way, man, he's done it for so long. But I think his current portfolio, who's else watching something about him? A lot of it is Apple. A lot of his stock is Apple.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's still got a lot of Coca-Cola. That's not going anywhere.
There we go, man.
There we go. Investing 101.
Investing 101. If you want to read a book on investing, I read a book called Unshakable by Tony Robbins years ago. That was a book on investing.
Huh? Really? Tony Robbins talking about investing.
It's called Unshakable. Okay. Read it. It's a really quick read. It's not that thick. Really easy to read.
One sentence. Would you learn one sentence?
Invest in indexes. That's it.
Good.
Because his logic was Look at indexes. Look at its last year. Look at its last high, and then look over the entire time it's been created up to now. It's been a gradual increase. There are dips for sure, but it keeps going up. He said, "Get in on it." Basically,
No,
that's it.
Literally, that it.
Because there's one thing that stock markets can do. When it goes beyond a certain point, they can pause it. They can pause everything and end trading, cease trading for the whole day if they want to. So it's a bit rigged. A little bit rigged. So you may as well just get in on the action, is what he's saying.
Absolutely. I
There you go. Investing 101. Enjoy. I hope you take that piece of advice and run with it. Thanks for this week. And thanks for listening, guys. We hope to see you in next week's episode. Please drop us a message and participate in the poll on Spotify, and comment on YouTube if you're watching us on there. Much love to everyone who is and who has.
Yeah.
Go on.
Shout out to my sister. I think she put a comment, didn't she, about
Sweet
Bobby. Yeah.
So,
guys,
Doctor,
we will be dissecting.
Doctor, you need to finish Sweet Bobby, and we can analyze it.
I do. We can
because I got plenty of thoughts on that.
My God, it's just guys. If you listen to it,
how many episodes you on?
I know the story anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm on the first episode, but some of the stuff is just wacky, man. I'm having a heart attack on the phone. I'm telling you, I'm having a heart attack on the phone. How do you tell someone you're having a heart attack on the phone? What bullshit is that?
There you go.
Bullshit.
So,
right. But
finish this, and then we can talk about it. So
okay, done.
How many more episodes you got?
How many are there in total?
6 in total.
Okay, I'll listen to 1.
Can you finish it by next week?
No, it's not reasonable. Look at running his eyes. Like first has gone from I want 1 hour. Like, 1 hour. I want 1 hour a week from you. Now it's like I want 10 hours of prep time from you.
I want you to watch it. All right. Let me know when you finally finish it, and we will do a quick review
next year. When we get to episode 100, we will do a special on Sweet Indy, the Lindy. Oh, very good. Okay.
Disgusting, guys. All right. Catch you guys next week. Cheers.